a luminosity mask. It's a technique to post-process photographs in Photoshop, and it helps to select areas on an image according to the of the luminosity actually. So you can say, I would like to process only highlights, or I would like to only process only shadows, and this helps a lot in landscape photography. But I am not sure if it's interesting for you. Maybe.
How you do that with Photoshop?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. And you are proposing to present it to us, is that correct?
If it is interesting for you, I can do it. It's just...
I even suggested that last time. I love the idea and how it works. So I would be in. I don't know the other guys.
Yeah, me too.
I would love. Yeah, so we're in.
Me too, yeah.
Okay.
That's
then
I
can show it to you.
We can have that booked for the next one. I would be really happy.
Okay.
Apparently, it's also available in Capture One. So.
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah, it works very well. I use it in Capture One, so it's a very nice technique, very easy in Capture One. I haven't used it in other programs, but very useful.
Okay, so
Capture One, the Pro version is very expensive because $500 more or less.
No, I got it cheaper, but I have access maybe through the university, so I got discounts. But I don't know. I don't know what the regular price is, but I got some discounts, so it wasn't too expensive. $150, something like that. 180 maybe, not more.
Oh,
I do have a subscription which is 150 a year.
150 a year.
Yeah, you can buy it. There are two options. You can buy it, and it's about 450. But then you have then you have to buy it again after a couple of years. Or you can have a subscription, which is 150 something.
Okay, so it's like, for me, Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop, they cost more or less $20 per month.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty expensive. However, I mean, it's the core of my business, making picture tethered to the laptop. So that's fine with me. But yeah.
But at the moment, it's only 160 francs if you buy it. It was 691 one time if you want to buy it for one camera. I choose for Sony, but you can choose for the other one. It's quite cheap. So
there's a special version for Sony, which is only working for Sony. Be careful.
Okay. Yeah, I know. But that's the cameras I use. So
yeah. So if you have other cameras than a Sony, you need to buy the normal version.
Yeah, because they have for Sony and for other type of camera, but even the other one is being bought for all cameras. The price is the same? Is 160 one time? Is now there if you want.
Yeah, it's around about that. Yeah. So
yeah, and you can buy once. Yeah.
And they're bringing in a new update in May. Today they just showed some. I posted it in the Instagram chat. So there was a session this afternoon, half an hour. They're bringing the new features in May. Yeah.
So and what did you hear about the new features that was more exciting? Unfortunately I could not come to the.
Yeah, it's about clone stamping and retouching. So which is a weak point in Capture One right now, because when you for example, if you do correct a blemish on a skin, for each correction you have to add a new layer now. And the new version you can have unlimited retouching on one layer. So which is a big step forward. And yeah, so this is for the people who do not use Photoshop for retouching. This is a big step. And same with clone stamps. Now you can have a lot of clone stamps on one layer, which sounds crazy that this is not possible, but it's not possible right now. So this is the biggest changes: clone stamping and cloning and copy. What is the other one? To having in several layers. So it sounds. I mean, Capture One for me sometimes it's a bit, and in some areas Capture One is very high sophisticated, and in some areas it's very basic. So and in this area of cloning and I just need to check how they call it. Yeah. Yeah, it's heal and clone. The heal and clone layers, they are very basic, and this is going to change in May. So this is
that's great. It is quickly becoming Lightshop, a mixture of Lightroom and Photoshop.
Well, you cannot really exchange content. You know, that's really not possible, and I guess that's not the goal. But yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing software for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the thing what I didn't mention the last time when I showed the software was the pilot. And so this is for people who shoot in the studio with customers or other people around. This is a fantastic feature. So while you are shooting, you can start a web server within Capture One, and everybody who is in the same wireless network can then access this web server and sees the pictures directly. So the people can sit on the couch or somewhere else, and then they see the pictures, and they can even put stars on them. So if I don't know, if you have a customer and they shoot the images, they can just really star while you go. And this is a very strong feature. So what I usually do is I have an iPad, and so I have the iPad on this web server, and the iPad is in front of the model. I mean, just beside of the model. So when I shoot, it always updates the screen on updates the screen on the iPad, and the model always sees directly how the images look like. So they don't need to come to the laptop or something like this. And if you pay some 15 Swiss francs, 15, then you get even the remote control on your iPhone or your iPad, and then you can remote control your camera from your iPad. So if your camera, for example, is high on the ceiling, on a ladder, or on a high stand, then you can remote control your camera completely with your iPad or your iPhone, which is really a very nice
fantastic
feature. Yeah, that's really good. We just used it last weekend with shooting again because it was very dark, and we didn't want to we wanted to have people walking around, so she could look at the iPad.
That is absolutely amazing. We can chat about Capture One all the time because I really love it, and I'm learning to like it even better. It's just too bad that we need to go between Adobe and Capture One so frequently. But yeah, I mean, we have to get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, what Capture One does not have is online features like putting your photos on an online album, which is then available with Lightroom. Yeah, that's just how it is.
Yeah, hopefully we will have a perfect software someday.
Makes it boring, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's impossible and boring. And guys, chatting a little about what else we can do and when we can do. We're listening all the time that things are coming back to normal here in Zurich. Everybody's going out anyways. So I'm really anxious a little bit to have the chance to go again out and do a photo walk. I don't know, how do you guys feel about that?
Well, I think next week life in Zurich should go to the normal, let's say, frequency. I don't know. We can try to see if everything looks right. We can try to see in 2 weeks' time what's happened. I mean, you know, photo walk doesn't mean that we have to be very close. Let's say.
Exactly.
We can also meet staying 2 meters away one from each other. But it depends. I don't know. To me, we should try once to leave the house. I mean.
Yeah, that is my point. For me, we can respect all the rules and we can be safe and still do photo walk. Yes, Ed, now we can see you.
Yes.
And that's why I'm asking you all, because for me, we could start to go we could start doing something by the end of the month, maybe last Thursday or something like that. Because I would really love to go back and shoot. Maybe we don't do that meeting on the coffee and stay there for 2 hours and everything.
Yeah.
We could just meet on the street, each one with already the coffee to go. So yeah, I'll try to schedule one for the end of the month, as you guys also want to go.
Makes sense, yeah.
What was that, Elena? I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so I would really love to join because I have never joined one, so it would be a nice experience for me. But do you usually do this on weekdays?
Yes, we've been doing, all of them on weekdays. We've been always trying to schedule one on weekends, but it never actually happened. But I'm totally open for that. What would be for you? What would work for you?
It really depends because some days I work till 6 and I live in Winterthur. So coming to Zurich would be a bit of a fuss on those days, but there are other days that I finish work at noon, so I would probably be able to join then.
Okay, usually we've been meeting on almost always on Thursdays, and usually around 6:30 we used to meet for coffee and chatting, and then we started going around 7. So time-wise it would be around the same, and I would try to stay on maybe a Thursday. It was a day that worked for many people in the past. But let's see how it goes, and I'm really open, and we should try to go to some nice place. Lino has already said so many times that he has some suggestions. We can go and shoot on a weekend, and I'm really open for that. Let's just try to make it happen.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, during the weekend, we will have also more time. Let's say, okay, I don't go to the office, but who is working during the week? And also we can try to meet a little more early. So perhaps instead to have a coffee, we can have a walk around, finding places, etc. So it depends. But surely we should go out from our...
Yeah, I'll try to make both. I will try to schedule both, one on a weekend and maybe on a Sunday, which is the day that most people have nothing to do because shops are all closed. Shops are closed today still. Yeah. So we might try to do one and another one on Thursday, so we can still get people who are in the city but don't have family things on weekends. I'll schedule those, and hopefully we can meet many times. And where's this?
I've seen what they are planning to do to fly again. It's very funny. They want to put the perspex plastic around people. I don't know if it will work really, because the problem is not to go. I think the problem is not to go inside the flight, but is to stay in line in the airport, arrive to the airport, etc.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's a very honestly, it's a very strange feeling. The fact that we cannot travel to me is the most heavy things.
Yeah. It's a crazy new life that we will never get really used to it.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that at least we can try to meet again and go back to our photo walks and have some fun around the city, because it has been always so fun and the weather is starting to get good again. So we have to enjoy it while we can. And another thing that I would like to chat with you guys is we could try to do a model sharing. I don't know how many of you would like to have something like that. And for the people who don't know what a model sharing is, just very quickly, we can have one or some models coming to the studio, and different photographers will have some time, each one between 1 hour, 2 hours with each model, and we can do portraits or some other styles. And if you guys want to have something like that, I can try to arrange some models depending on the level of experience of the model. It's going to cost more or less, but how many of you guys would have some interest on that?
Yes, it would interest
sure
me.
we can organize it. I mean, the problem is to stay in the studio with all the people, but
yeah,
perhaps we can organize it outdoor also.
Yes, we could do it outdoors. That would be almost the same as the meetup we usually do.
Yeah, but I mean, as I told you several times, we can organize it with lighting, etc. So it's something, let's say, more sophisticated. But with the professional model, would be anyway okay. We will have chance.
I do love the idea, and if you guys want to go this route, we could make both of them happen. Yeah. I would maybe try to start in the studio, the first one, just because if the weather is not so good, we don't have like a complete fail, and we can try to make a second one happen. I even did a very small thing that I would like to send you guys. So if you could spend like 2 minutes, if so much, to tell me what you guys would think about it. It's just a very, very tiny poll. You all should have it on your screen. It's like 5 questions. Just tell me what you guys think. I cannot see any individual answers. So no, don't worry. Just tell me what you guys think.
But how do you send it? By?
It should be on your screen now.
Yes.
I actually can see it here.
We can write on.
Don't you see it on your screen?
Yeah, I see it. I mean, I would never ever be able to do this kind of things you do. It's incredible. Great. You want the answer now?
Yeah, please just go. It's like five really simple questions, just so I get what you guys would like. Because if I ask you to send me afterwards, life gets in the way, and I never get to hear what you guys think.
Cesar, is it how do you is it like only, for instance, only me and model, or is it a lot of us and model and same time? Because I have no experience. I would never know what should I do 1 hour with a model, you know.
Okay. So what I would
Me
suggest,
neither,
yeah, what I would suggest, if you guys are interested in shooting with a model in the studio, we can make it happen. I would not have everybody together still, because we don't know about the restrictions and everything. What I would do is model and makeup artists, they would be all the time inside the studio. I would also be all the time inside the studio. So we can schedule, and each photographer comes and has the time, 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on what we arrange. And during this time, I can help you guys. If you don't have the experience, or if you want something, if you want to make it a workshop, we can go whichever route we decide as a group. But if you guys have experience and just want to make some cool photos with a model, you have the studio with you, and you can do whatever you want with the studio and whatever you and the model agree. If you don't have experience, or if you want to make that into I don't know, training, workshop, or just learning studio photography, we can arrange, and I can be by your side. We can arrange it beforehand so that you learn posing and directing and the lights. So it's really easy. We can arrange whatever.
Yes, nice.
Okay.
So I have 2 people that completed. I cannot know who they were.
I've completed one. I've just sent it in. So, and I have an idea. We could do a low budget model with Lino as a model.
Hey, that is an amazing suggestion, Lino. Yes. He just said that we could do a low budget model and have you posing for us.
Oh yeah, sure, I can, but you have to pay me.
And he also said it should be.
I do everything. If you pay, I do everything.
Okay.
That's the life of photographer. Yes. If you pay, I do everything. No, sorry, but when you say here model sharing Photoshop the price, Cesar, when you say 200, 300, 400 is per hour.
When I say what, sorry?
How much you want to pay per hour? 200 Swiss franc, 300 is per hour, or is what? Question number 4.
Yeah, I know. My question to you guys is, we can pay very cheap and have a model that we can even have a TFP model that will be even cheaper. But this person will probably have no experience. This person will not bring you some exposure if you're looking for that on an Instagram feed. Or we can pay a little bit more and bring somebody who has a lot of experience.
No, I understand it, but when you put this price, 200, 300, 400, is for per hour?
Per hour, yeah, sorry, per hour.
Each photographer or what?
Yeah, each photographer per hour.
So that means if I want to shoot 3 hours with a very experienced model, I have to pay 1,200.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a crazy limit. Yeah, but it could be. If we try to bring Giselle Bündchen, it might be a little bit expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it was for each photographer, but it's good to know. Then it's something different. But how many people are taking part with the model shooting?
This is just so I can understand a little bit where we are. Because if everybody says, okay, I don't really want to pay anything, I can understand that we need to try to bring somebody TFP at the most. But if people are willing to pay something for model and makeup artist and everything, so I can understand if everybody's okay, let's imagine here 100 francs. If everybody's okay with 100 francs.
100 francs is okay for me, yes.
I can try to make it stay for everybody inside that range. So this is just so I have an idea. This is not a fixed price because I don't know the price of the models. I do know from maybe 3 or 4 of them. And I'm quite sure that we can make it cheaper than it is in the survey. This is just so I know the limits and I can try to stay beneath those limits.
Yes, okay.
So I think we could try to move on. I don't know if I can keep that open and still show you guys the screen. I'll try to do that. If everything breaks, I'll just do my best to fix it. So how do I go back to screen sharing? And here's where we were. And yeah, it should be working. So this is another thing we could start trying to plan as we start to come out of lockdown and restrictions. And some other ideas. One thing that I thought, because I saw one other photographer and he made something like that, is a used market. What do you guys think of that? Would you guys be in to come when everything is really open and have each one of us bring some gear that we want to sell and see what we could buy?
I've got a lot of things that I want to sell.
I can imagine.
Yes, so it will be interesting. I don't have anything to sell, but...
I mean, we can rent a table all together and we can put things there, perhaps. When there is the market, what's the name of the square close to the bridge at the end of the Bahnhofstrasse?
I know. You're talking about Berkeleyplatz or something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. There is always, I think, a monthly market where they sell also photographic things, tools, etc. And once I've been, I checked it. It's just a matter to rent a space, and then you can go there to put a table and to sell your things.
Okay, I didn't know about that. I was suggesting something very simple. We could go to the studio or somewhere else we want, share some snacks and just bring whatever we want to sell and chat among us. But if you have something bigger in mind, I would love, because I also have quite some.
Because I've seen it once and it's not expensive to rent a space. So, but alone was not the case because I didn't have so many things. I mean, But perhaps if you put 3-4 people together, it can be interesting. Also, it will be interesting by the economic viewpoint.
Okay, So if you could send me some details, if
Yes,
you have any of them, I will try to propose that to the group, because I'm quite sure that at least the two of us, we have a lot of things that we want to sell. So, and if you guys have any ideas of workshops, we could try to learn together whatever you guys have in mind. So that's why I left these question marks there. If you have ideas, just shoot me a message and we will try to make it happen. And then one of the things that we spoke that I mentioned in our group, trying to share some, I don't know, videos, documentaries or whatever that we found. And I did bring some to you guys, but if anybody would like to share some, is there any of you guys that would like to share some?
So, if about any special subject or anything?
Nah, not, it's absolutely open, Antonio. It's just, I just got by email, I don't know, some very nice documentaries. And since I have very limited work possibilities right now, I had more time and I really watched some very good documentaries. And one of them was just became free to access. And that's why I suggested to our group that we could like share this this kind of resources. So I will have all these links on the blog tomorrow. So if you guys want, the first documentary that I found is this guy that I absolutely adore, Cartier-Bresson. I think everybody knows him a lot. He has so many iconic photos, and he's like the father of street photography. And he did everything with film when it was still in the beginning. And there's a YouTube interview that I found these days, and it's really really amazing what he says. I mean, you have to be willing to go to something a little bit slower because it's not the modern pace. It's really slow into his answers, but what he has to say about photography and about why he did what he did, and his focus on composition and everything that he did. So I really loved this this documentary. It's quite long. It's almost 1 hour, and it's free to watch on YouTube. And another one, this is the one that I received by email, Dorothea Lange. You guys probably saw this picture on the right now. It was very iconic. She photographed during the Great Depression. And Museum of Modern Art just opened these the expositions that they have, and a lot of pictures and videos and interviews from people who curate this exposition from her. It's everything open. You can just go there and watch or see the photos, whatever you want. So this is just taken from the museum's webpage. There is one question and answer that is not so in depth, but they have some other videos and they have a lot of photos from her. I really liked that a lot. And this is a funny coincidence, Lino. We were just speaking from the guy that looks like you.
Yeah.
And there is a video from him. This one is unfortunately not free. This is not Lino, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And
no, I'm not the blue one.
And there is he has a video that is just amazing. It's really nice, but it's not for free. So we could maybe get some popcorn when we don't have so many restrictions and watch it together. But it's really cheap. It's like $4. You can rent it on Netflix, Amazon, and many other places. I'll have all the links again. But it's called the Salt of the Earth. And it really shows a lot of his work. And as Lino was saying, he's just a very nice guy, not only because he's Brazilian, but he's a really cool guy. And he has a lot to say about photography and the causes that he fights for. It's a very, very nice video to watch. It's worth renting it on those online places. Sorry, it was not, this is another one. If you guys are into that, somebody wrote me about fine art portraits, and I imagine Elena should like that too because of some of the images.
I love crocheted.
Yeah, this one is free if you want to watch it. It's going on air with Creative Live. I don't know exactly
what is
when
it again?
It's coming on Friday, and it stays like for 2 or 3 days. So you should have the chance to watch it until Sunday maybe for free. And they usually have very, very nice live workshops and teaching. And Brooke Shaden, I have already seen some things from her, and she has very cool images and very nice ideas. And her creative process is really
Brooke Shaden, yeah.
It's really nice to see. Again, I'll have all the links on the blog, and this one is just for a very limited time. You can watch it for free, and afterwards you have to pay, I don't know, $40 usually to purchase those classes. You can watch it live, and it stays repeating for some days, like 2 or 3 days at most. If anybody has any other ideas and this kind of things to share, I would really love to receive them, but some of them are usually for a limited time. So Antonio, you were asking about what? This is what I had in mind, but I'm open. If you guys have other ideas or other things to share, I would really appreciate it.
No, I was not asking anything. I was just checking the name. No.
Yeah, but if you have any ideas to share with us, you just found out that, I don't know, like Daniel did, Capture One was doing a live to tell the news about the software. So it's really an open space, so we can share the latest news. I would love to have somebody coming here and saying everything about the new Canon, I don't know, the mirrorless that does everything, 8K and all.
Yeah, they are catching up, right?
Yeah. But it is really open. Whatever we want to have here is good. Ed just wrote something, sorry.
Yes, I bought some plugins, but I just bought it this week, so I have to practice, but it looks interesting if people are interested in black and white photography. It's like the Nick collection, but more complicated. Yes.
Hey, that's great. If you could learn it a little bit,
yes,
understand how everything works, and just come and give us everything ready, I would really love it.
Yes, okay, I will do my best.
Yeah, just tell me whenever you have something to tell us about this one. I'm really interested.
Okay.
Because many times plugins make our lives so much easier. I'm really into that.
Yes, okay.
And where is it again? So if it goes to the next one. This is something that I received some questions. This is not exactly a question, it's a suggestion from one of the guys on one of the meetup groups. And he was saying about some other third parties because of the Instagram trick that I showed you guys last week. And he was saying that there are some third-party websites. It's not exactly a plugin. I use Lately, and there's another one. I mean, there are many. Some of them are free. You can upload a lot of your images to those websites, and you can schedule and do some things for Instagram. If you guys want, I can bring you next week some information about that. But if you think it's really not relevant, we can just move on. What do you guys think?
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to read this message that you get.
No worries. It's really tiny, just to so I wouldn't forget what the guy asked and his name. But what he's saying is just that there are some other ways, not only that trick that I showed you. I do prefer the trick if I'm going to post just one image, but this thing that he mentions is that you can go to a website, you can register to this website. Some things are free, some things are paid, and you can just upload 10, 15 images or 30 images, and you can schedule your posts to Instagram for 1 month, for 1 year, for whatever.
So you can upload and then it will put on Instagram within a schedule. So you can just take these pictures, but don't put everything at the same time. Just keep putting.
Yeah, you can program it. You can do one at a time, one at a day. You can schedule one for next month, another one for the following day. It's really easy to do. Not everything is free. It has its pros and cons, like everything in life. But if you guys are interested, I can bring you the examples that I know and that are safe, because they could just steal your Instagram account if you go for the wrong place. Does it sound interesting, or just let it be?
Oh, that will be interesting. If it takes about five minutes, I would be interested. Yes.
Okay, so I will bring you 2 slides, and if we want to go further, I can.
Yes.
To do a little bit more, let me just write down, because I don't remember my name.
If it's easy to use, right, people is interested. If it's not,
it's really easy to use. It's just like upload, write whatever you want to have in the caption. If you want to put the tags and everything, and then you just schedule. You want this to go live, and when, and that's done. It can be really easy, or it can be really complicated. You can make it.
You choose.
So I will bring it to the next chat. And there is another one from this lovely guy in this amazing place. I think you all know him. So Nick, do you want to tell us what is the idea? What would you like to discuss?
Well, the thing is that I'm not into aerial photography at all. But now with the lockdown, my ideas started wandering, and I saw that there is a new drone coming out, the Mavic Air 2, I believe.
Yeah, the Mavic Air 2, yes, correct.
And I will definitely not have a big drone with the super fancy things, but I got intrigued by what you can do with the drone, and I'm actually not aware what the reactions are from people in Switzerland. If I read online that a lot of people are against drone photography because it makes noise and privacy issues. So I just wanted maybe someone of you can tell me just a couple of things, what your experiences were, and if, like how to get started. Not how to get started, actually. What are the issues that I have to expect? Let's say it that way.
No, you can. There's one thing you need to be careful is the drone is over 500 grams, so you need an insurance. Your personal liability is not enough, so you need an extra insurance. And apart from that, if you go to the mountain or somewhere where there is not much people, or even if you launch it into the lake, I don't think it should be much of a problem, because I know people who does it. So if you don't go over people, should be fine. And I think you have an application of the places where you can fly or not. And usually the DJI, they always give you a warning or even forbid you from going to places that are marked as no-fly zones. So the DJI is probably the best one for you to start with if you want to.
I totally agree with that. And
I used to fly in the UK, but not here anymore. But I used to fly in the UK drone show.
Okay, I've been doing it for my business sometimes, not as often as I would like. And I can give you some quick insights. And if you guys want to go deeper into that, we can spend hours discussing. But since drones were really the least voted topic in our survey, people were preferring to go to the dentist to discussing anything.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
I think it's really.
I like the dentist as well.
I mean, if we keep it short and brief, I know it's like information for all of us. There is until 300 grams, you are allowed to fly wherever you want, as you wish. You can even fly on top of people without any kind of license or anything else. If you go to the regular drones, because these small ones are the ones that you can buy from China, they cost like $10 and you can see anything. If you go for decent drones, including Mavic Air 2 or 2 Air, whatever they want to call it, you can fly it almost everywhere in Switzerland as long as it's not on top of a private property when the owner says, I don't want you to do it. And that must be specific. So I can just say, I cannot just say, okay, I don't want drones going on top of where I live. That they don't, I can't really say that. But if you go for an example, I had issues once. I was on a lake, Kaumasee, I think, and there is this restaurant and there's nothing else. So they really came running to me and they made me go away with the drone. And then people would just go outside the borders of the restaurant and they would fly on top of the restaurant anyways. This is not correct, but people do it. But it's just when it is the private place and there's nothing else around, you can get somebody complaining. I got a lot of bad looks many times, especially because I'm a foreigner and I don't speak so good the local language. And some local people came and they were flying exactly in the same spots I would try to, and they had got no issues. Just so you can have an idea, I was just in front of Grossminster and I was like, it was like, I don't know, 5:30 or something, nobody around. And I had people complaining and it was not because of the noise, it was because of the drone. And I had a local guy that came there and he's a Swiss photographer, I know him. And he just came, he took off in the middle of the people, flew on top of Grossminster and came back and nobody said a word to him. It is allowed. You can fly there. You just have to be careful not to fly on top of many people. This is absolutely forbidden. So if it was happening like, I don't know, a meeting with 20 people on Sachsenleutenplatz, you cannot fly on top of that. But if you go to the lake, and you fly on top of the lake, you can even fly and film the, I don't know, street parade, which I've done in Lucerne and here in Zurich. You fly on top of the lake and you can film whatever you want. Insurance, if you just want to do it for fun, you can have it with your insurance. As Antonio said, you need to tell your insurance, and it depends on the insurance. They will raise your liability a lot or just a little. If you want to sell this, you should try to get a specific professional insurance. Otherwise, you can get in trouble.
If you want to, sorry, I didn't get that. If you want to?
If you want to sell this, if you want to film professionally.
Oh, okay.
If the insurance company finds out that you are selling the images and you have a problem, or I mean the other way around, if you have a problem and you talk to the insurance and they discover that you fly professionally, then they will not pay and you might get in trouble. So this is the very basic thing. If you want to go...
Yeah, but the limit, according to the law in Switzerland for the insurance, is not 300, it's 500 grams. Because the Mavic Air 1, you can still fly because it's 490. But the new one is 570 or 90. So you cannot fly anymore. It's 500 grams for the insurance.
No, for the insurance, it's okay. But for the police, if it is below this 300 grams...
Not 500, are you sure it's not 500, the limit?
No, I think this is for insurance or for other things. It was a very tiny and light drone. It was 300 and something grams. This one, you could fly easily anywhere you wanted. If it went above that, you cannot fly on top of people. You cannot fly in some... in these restricted spaces where you have gatherings of people.
And they have a scale. They are gonna weight it. They have a scale. They bring a scale and they weight it.
I mean, yeah, this is crazy. Yeah,
No, of course not. Of course not. Of course not. If the drone is small, looks light, you can fly it. But the problem is if you have into trouble or drops into someone and they are gonna see the model online and they seize more than that amount, then you are in trouble. Is usually the problem is if something happens, you are in trouble. That's the problem.
I would not do it without an insurance of some kind.
Me neither. Definitely not. In Switzerland, you need to have that insurance for drones if you want to be safe, yeah.
But Nick, if you want to go any further and discuss models and brands, I've been flying since we had to assemble the drones ourselves. There wasn't this computer doing the things. It was really ridiculous. You would try to fly them and they would just flip and fall on top of the rotors. So it was really funny. If you just want to discuss it and even experiment a little bit, we can arrange that. Anytime.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Of course, if any of you guys are interested, we can discuss and even play with drones whenever you guys want. Patrick,
I mean, that's a typical isolation subject that came up. You know, you do your stuff, you work and work and work, and then suddenly you go to YouTube, you watch a video just to distract, or when you're having a coffee or whatever, because nobody else is around, and then you bump into something, and that's what happened. So yeah, I'll check it out a little bit more, and I'll let you guys know if I'm going that route.
Yeah, there are some gorgeous images to be captured with the drone in the sea.
It's a different angle. That's why I got drawn into it, and you can play with the movement if you want to do video, or just like the angles that you don't get with just normal camera. So we'll see.
Yeah, and if you start to get into that, there are some simulators that you can even hook the controller for the drone, and you can try it with your computer. It looks like a video game. You can spend many hours on that. It's really cool to train. So if you guys want, we can do that anytime. You can even go to a place and try to play with it. On top of the building where the studio is, Nick, there is an open roof, and you can even take off from there. It's really cool to get some cool shots from the city.
Wow.
So, and this is a topic I love. You guys want anytime. I'm really happy to play together and do whatever we want as a group to do there. Nice. And there was another request absolutely away from the topic from Jan, and he would like us to tell what we think about this photo of his. I will share with you guys the link, and I will try to put it full screen here, just a second. And then I think everybody can, where is it? Everybody can see it better. I'm certain there's a window somewhere here with the link, so sorry. I always get lost. So the link should be in the chat now, if you guys want to open it full screen. I mean, I lost the chat too, just a second. And not only to add to everyone. So in the link, in the chat, you have the link. And I will share it full screen with you guys from my screen.
Also on Flickr, okay.
So we can all be in the same page, quite literally. So this is the image. Do you want to tell us something about the image, Jan?
Well, this image was taken in Appenzell, and actually I was there and I wanted to make a picture of Seealpsee, and this was just by accident on the way, and I realized that there is a really small village here, and as I saw it, I just was, wow, how can it be, how people can live there? And actually you only can arrive this village by feet or by helicopter, so no roads. Wow. And so I can trace this, but I need to photograph it.
Okay, anybody would like to share the thoughts and ideas about the photo?
Very nice.
I mean, there's something that I really love about it, is that it takes you a second to really look and understand that's a village, and that gives the scale. So I think this is brilliant that you can understand that it's huge. This view is really very big. And I mean, the way the lines go, they work a lot for me, because they form like triangles a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see the pointer going on there. I like how this forms a triangle. And then you have some more lines like drawing your eyes. This is something that I really like. The darkness here in the foreground gives a little bit of like a frame, and that's something that I also like. And if I would try to give you some suggestions, it lacks for me a little bit of contrast. I don't know if it is the screen, maybe the edit that you did is something different, but it looks like you could just go a little bit with the dehaze or a little bit more of contrast, because it looks for me that it could use a little bit more, especially if you would go for the clouds. If you would play a little bit with contrast on the clouds, I think they would be really powerful on the image. But I really like, and I think it is a very cool image. You could have it hanging on anybody's wall.
Yeah, definitely.
I lost it. Oh, yeah. No, I like the image. I mean, I like the fact that you have been able to see the village there. Why? What's happened? Why I don't see any more the image? What?
Oh, sorry, I took away the. Oh, so sorry, Lino. I wanted to see you, and I took away the share. I put it up. I will put it again. It should be back.
Thank you. No. I made something wrong. Okay, this one. No. This one, yes, yes. Here we are. Okay, yeah. No, I like. It's a full frame picture. Yeah, you didn't cut it, no?
No.
No. Okay. The only things to me, you know, perhaps from my vision, there is too much black here in the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
That is not allowing me to see the village. That I think was the idea that of which you took the picture, right?
Yeah.
So perhaps too much dark on the foreground. So I was cutting a little the front, but the picture is very good. Also, the atmosphere is very good. I like it, but I look at it and I want to see a little more the village. But my view is concentrated on this black, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
You can always. I mean, you know, this is I never cut picture. Usually I take the picture that I see and then I print it like they are. But sometimes, like this, for example, I will always try 2 or 3 reframing to see if it works better or not. I mean, you know.
I like the picture very much. I want to ask you, Jan, did you do much post-processing, or is it just as it is? What did you do with the picture after taking the shoot?
Actually, as I talked about luminosity masks, here they apply very well. So I can show to you next week if I explain how I use it. I can show not this picture because actually you see these highlights on the left and down. This is they are all there, but I could lift them a little bit.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you have post-processed it a little bit.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
And to be really honest, this left clouds in the left, are pasted, copied from the right because they were blue sky.
Yes.
And it disturbed me too much.
Okay, yeah. That's nice.
It's something that Lino said about cropping, and then I reminded the only thing that about the cropping from my side that was a little bit distracting is this green on the right. It is not close enough to make you feel like it is a foreground object that will give you depth, but it is there a little bit out of place. But I understand that it was probably not so easy without Nick's drone to go and have another view. But it's the only thing. If I had to, I'm trying to be picky. I'm trying to find things because I already said I love the image, but this is me being picky. Maybe without this green part on the bottom right, it would be even nicer. Then maybe going together with Lino's idea of cropping a little.
You know what my problem is? That this rock, this white rock from bottom to the top right, I wanted to get this edge and this is maybe I can reframe it, yeah, but I wanted to have this edge, not to cut it, and this is the problem with reframe.
Technique and the drone, so you can go a little bit higher and then show.
This is also the problem with I think with telephoto lenses, because you change the location a little bit and then you completely change the composition. It's not like a wide frame, like 16 millimeters.
Yeah, and different from the model, you cannot say just okay, put your hand a little bit down.
Yeah,
You can't do that with the mountain. You have to complain to nature. I think it's a really cool image. Congratulations, Leonard.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I agree. It's a very powerful image, and I like that the village is like highlighted by the light. So to have captured that moment where the village is in the full light, I think that's very strong. I think I would also try to play around with different crops maybe, and then see what it gives. So the front right rocks, which are quite dark, at least on my screen. These ones, can you see that? Can you see my pointer? No, you can't see.
I can.
No.
Yeah, on the sky, on the blue sky.
There is like these ones. I'm not sure how much they. You're always erasing it, Cesar.
I'm not.
This one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not doing anything.
So I don't know if I would kind of try to take them out and go a little bit closer and have the village maybe either smack center or in one not corner, but like in one of the rectangles of the thirds. I don't know. I would just play around and maybe you find even a better angle, but the picture is absolutely gorgeous with the light and the clouds, and so
thank you. I will definitely try to find
and in contrast to Lino, I always crop. I like cropping. I think it's sometimes you see cutting out something is actually sometimes very rewarding.
No, but I also crop sometimes, but you know, the things that I always try is to do the frame when I take the picture. So, but in this case, perhaps little crop is not bad. But it's also
I'm not good enough. I don't see the right crop in the moment. I think one day maybe.
I mean, you know, it's like no. I want to go back just for a while to the idea of that you were saying before, the experience you want to make with the. I lost the word.
You lost
help me, clone. No. What's the name of the tool we were discussing before?
The luminosity mask.
No. The things that Nick was saying. What you bought?
The drone. The drone.
Oh, okay. Drone. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm going to try, you know, to do some short movies. So perhaps the drone would be very helpful in this case.
Anybody else wants to share thoughts on the image?
No, I think it's very good. I like the image in general.
Very nice image. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So let's go back to it. And I mean, this is false. I didn't, this one doesn't exist, just forget it. Yeah. So this is something that when I spoke about the themes last week, not everybody was happy, and I received a couple of messages, and I hear you. I hear your pain, because I gave two themes that were too abstract. So by listening to you guys and seeing that only I posted images to the page of the contest, I'm thinking of removing one of those ideas that was too abstract. And no worries if you guys already planned something with happy. We'll do that on the next challenge. And I tried to come up with something that was a little bit more I don't know, not exactly physical or tangible, but maybe different. What do you guys think? Would you rather have happy or try with something else?
No, I mean, you know, as I told you the last time, free and happy in this moment to me is something that is really not so close to my idea of life. But I mean, perhaps we said 3 weeks time, no?
3 weeks, yes, 3 weeks.
Okay, so that means perhaps, you know, I'm taking so many pictures now of landscape where there is a lot of freedom, but there is not a lot of happiness, you know, around. Huh?
Correct, right?
But I'm sure that now, as things are changing, people is going around a little more. Kids will start to go by fields, jogging, etc. Perhaps some more freedom and happiness will arrive.
Actually, this weekend I did quite a good. I'm happy with my photography I've done because it's a place usually that's full of people and there's not many people, so it's very good to take pictures. To be honest.
Okay, so what I'm doing with the themes is that we can still choose one or both, even better. But for the people who are not going outside, I will give one option that is a little bit abstract, like free. And you know, you could even do the absence of free also counts. So you could play with that if you want.
So the subject is free, yeah? Free or non-free?
Yeah, it's free, but you can do whatever you interpret of free. Maybe the lack of freedom, or I don't know, going away from going to your balcony is you being free from isolation. I don't know, whatever you think of that, and you can even play and assemble something at home on a tabletop that resembles free. Anyways, the idea is exactly that, to create and to go a little bit outside of the everyday grind, because we are all inside the homes. But then to help those that are not going away or going out so often, one theme remains, which is free. Happy is coming for the next challenge. And the second theme that is together or separate from free, but you can do just free or just the next one that should come soon. It's a little bit easier to do inside the home. You can play with that as you wish. So the themes for this challenge, they are free, which is a little bit more abstract, and color or colors. And you can do whatever you interpret of that. Is it better this way?
Yes.
Okay.
And happy, if anybody did anything like I did, considering the theme happy, save it. We can use that for the next one. One of the themes is going to be happy. And this is just to remind that my idea with this is that we can go a little bit away from the day-to-day. And if you guys want, I always use these sources of ideas. I forgot to send you guys. I'll have it on the
What is 500px? Is a site or something?
Yeah, that's exactly this one. It is a site where photographers go and share images, and it has an amazing collection of photos, and you can specify in the search a lot of different words. And I usually find very, very nice inspiration there.
So, but is something similar to Flickr or not?
It is, but in my experience, in Flickr you find much more people, and many of them just go there with the iPhone and snap anything and post. It's a little bit, Flickr is for me a little bit more to Facebook or to Instagram, where people post anything. 500 pics, I find it a little bit more, for lack of a better word, it's a little bit more thought. It's not exactly just go there and you can see from this search. This is exactly, I searched for free and home. If you do the same search on Instagram, you can't, but if you go for Flickr, you get a lot of garbage. I mean, sorry, that's not a bad, that's a very bad word. You get a lot of unthought photos. And this one, you get a little bit more selective results. That's my experience.
You know what I saw on Instagram comments, you know, to have a lot of friends on Instagram It's like to be rich on Monopoly.
Yeah, that's correct. Instagram is crap. I don't use Instagram at all. I just use Flickr and Guru Shots. That's the two I see my picture.
Metaphor,
yeah.
Unfortunately, Instagram is where most people see your images. That's
no, sure, yes. And I also I stopped more or less to use Facebook. I don't use it anymore. I use Instagram, especially in this moment, But I never published nothing on these 500 pics.
But this is just a place that you can go to find some inspiration, and I've seen some very, very nice photos there. This is the same search on Flickr. I looked for colors and indoor, and it actually brought one of my photos that is from the beach on the top left. I don't know what's indoor in that one, but this is also a very nice source of inspiration. So we can just think, okay, I would like to go and do some project. We can even try to make a group project. If anybody wants to play with light painting, like this photos on the top right, we can make this some sort of a project anytime. But these places are just sources of inspiration that if you guys want to get some other ideas or anything else that we could do for the contest, for the challenges. And this is the same search from Flickr, colors and indoor. And you have a lot of ideas, a lot of cool things that you can do at home to create some images for the challenge or not. I mean, I will keep giving 150 francs of credit for anything I offer in the studio, model sharing, whatever, except for the used gear. That is out. But let's make this challenge a step a little bit higher, and maybe we can find some projects that we can do together sometime. And this was just some ideas, some creative ideas, and I just received yesterday an email from a YouTube channel. The guy does so many crazy things and creative ideas with newspapers, with regular household items. I will share that with you guys if you want to go there and waste a couple of very fun minutes. You can see what the guy does, and it's really cool for this creative and different ideas. I mean, that is pretty much what I brought for today. If you guys have anything that you'd like to add, and not our ad, but if you like to add something, I would really love to hear your thoughts.
Can you please send the link to this photography fine printing, because I couldn't find it in
no worries. I will have all the links in the blog post. You have absolutely every link. I will put them all there.
You will put it.
Yeah,
okay.
I will put all the links. They will be there.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning, I promise. Maximum.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys want to share anything else. We are approaching the arranged time, but if you guys want, I'm really happy to share more.
Okay.
So guys, thank you so much. I will have quite some different things for you to waste a lot of time having some fun with photography. I'll just try to find the link for this guy with the crazy ideas on YouTube. And if I can find it, I will just share with anybody that wants to stay a couple of minutes longer. But if you guys just want or need to go, thanks so much for coming again.
How many screens do you have? How many screens do you have? You must have one on top of the regular one, left and right. So I'm sure you have at least 3 screens. Is that correct?
No, I have 2 screens and 1 ton of things in each one of them. That's why I get lost so frequently.
Because I see you looking up, left, right. I feel your whole wall is like, you know, these old movies from the 80s where they invest money. And there's always like 7 screens at least. Isn't that the case?
Unfortunately not. I have like 1 screen exactly to my right, One screen that's to my left, so there's a double monitor here, and I have one iPad here, which is my spy, so I can see what's coming into everybody's screen.
Seven screens is usually the composition of a trader. In trading organization, the traders have that amount of screens usually.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I worked in trading companies in the UK always, so I know that.
I already get lost with just these 3. I mean, that is enough. That is already enough.
You usually have 2 and 1 for the laptop, yeah. So the documentation.
So the link on the YouTube that I was telling you guys, after we go through the advertisement, I will just take the music away because it doesn't really add much. But this guy has some crazy ideas for joining. I mean, I'm always looking forward to our next chat and meeting.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Cesar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.